Hey guys, this is Brian with Trader Bros, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of the most underrated, not talked about stocks there are currently on the market that has one of the highest potentials for growth, and that is SBE, aka Chargepoint. So what is SBE and what's its purpose with Chargepoint? So SBE is a blank check company that was formed for the purpose of effecting a merger. This was basically a strategic partnership with Chargepoint, and it's basically taking them from private to a public marketplace, which is an awesome opportunity. Chargepoint, what's really great about them is they operate one of the largest online networks of independently owned EV charging stations that is operating currently in over 14 different countries all over the world, in North America and in Europe. So let's talk about who is the main driving force behind these two titans that are going to excel the stock into maximum growth. Let's start with the CEO of Chargepoint. His name is Pascal Romano, and he has a very, very impressive resume. He is currently a board member of some reputable companies like Agio One, CallStart, and also YMCA, as you all know what that is. Pascal joined Chargepoint in February 2011. He's bringing over 25 years of technology industry experience, executive management experience, and what's great about him is he has already been there and done that with one of his former companies, 2Wire, which he sold for over $475 million, and it was acquired by Pace in 2010. So let's talk about the second leader behind this amazing opportunity and strategic partnership. His name is Scott McNeil. He was the CEO for RSP Permian Inc. from April 2013 all the way through its completed acquisition by Concho Resources in July 2018. So this is another example of someone who took a successful company and made it profitable and is now doing it with another company. And what's pretty interesting about Mr. McNeil is his experience in the energy sector. So Mr. McNeil also served as a managing director in the energy investment banking group Raymond James Financial Inc., advising companies operating in the exploration and production of midstream energy service and equipment segments in the energy industry. What's great is he already has that knowledge and experience from the energy sector, specifically oil, and now he's taking it into renewable energy, green energy with that mindset, right? So he's gonna definitely help Chargepoint with this merger. So as you guys can tell, YouTube family, what these two guys are doing are already ahead of the game. They're already thinking not just 5-10 years from now, they're already looking ahead for 20-30 years from now, and they're already capitalizing on this space that is already unoccupied currently. Chargepoint and SBE are currently going to be the leaders in this industry. And as we can tell, what's been happening over the last 5-10 years with the renewable resources sector and also EV sector is that shift from oil to renewable green energy. And that's going to be a huge realization for you guys, the investors, when you realize that, man, like oil was great before and it still is pretty decent, but now there's something new and there's something much better. And that is what the shift is now. That is what the sentiment is going towards. That is what the theme is nowadays. And it's better to get involved now before the train leaves the station. Guys, this is not, some speculative, risky, company. This is a well-established company with reputable, services and devices that's been founded since 2007. So they've been around for a while. It's not comparable to anything like Nikola, which was just an idea, and currently they have over 50,000 charging stations all over the United States and all over Europe. So some other companies that are also committed to electrification are, companies in the technology industry such as Alphabet Company. You have Amazon Auto. The automotive industry, you have some premier names like Ford, Tesla, Gillig, as well as the energy industry, which are, you have Shell, you have Exelon, and so on. And even oil and gas, things like Chevron and BP. Chargepoint is literally an essential charging platform partner with all these companies. So they're literally the leading charging station for these companies. You know, Chargepoint is literally dominating this charging market that nobody has claimed, and they're doing it at a rapid pace here. So where is this company going to be, in the next 5 or 10 years? So as you can see below, there is a growth graph here where Chargepoint is estimated to be a $1 billion revenue at 3% by 2026. And they're looking at here, as you can see, they're going to have over 150,000 commercial ports and also 1,500,000 EV passenger sales. So some things that are actually going to push this process at a much quicker rate in favor of SBE and Chargepoint are countries and states that are banning the sales of gasoline-powered vehicles. California has recently, as we've noticed, done this by executive order, as we noticed a couple weeks ago, by the governor. And this is all supposed to happen by 2035. Other countries across the world, such as Japan, the UK, Denmark, and others, are also following suit in banning these car sales of gasoline-powered vehicles. Another point we can add to this is that there's also going to be further EV cost reductions with advances in battery technology, and also the advancement of different companies that are coming out with electric vehicles as well at an accelerated rate, as we've been noticing with other companies like Workhorse, NIO, Helion, and such. As you can tell by this picture here, SBE and Chargepoint is positioned, to scale here, and they have a great record of this from 2007 till now, and they're even projecting forward. So they have potentials for commercial, for retail, and different other, aspects of this, as well as their fleet and their service maintenance and customer service as well. So they're looking to also include, acceleration of new products. They're looking to fund other commercial and fleet programs, expand their European footprint, also enabled other strategic acquisitions. And to me, I'm all about strategy, and honestly, this company is not just a stock company. This is literally one of the most, forward-thinking, strategically planning companies there are out there, and I'm honestly surprised that this is not, being brought to light on a daily basis. So you guys are literally getting this news, firsthand, and basically getting first picks at this. So some things that we want to add also to this, as far as where we're seeing Chargepoint is going to be in the future and how they're going to do this, is, as you can tell by this picture down below, what they're looking to sell, how they're going to have reoccurring services and software programs, their commercial products, their fleet products, and as well as residential products, which are going to be things such as, Chargepoint home chargers sold with lifetime subscriptions. They also will have multi-family charging stations with monthly fee bills to the tenants, and additional other power consumptions that are going to be set in pricing. And honestly, all these services, to me, what this looks like is essentially like the Netflix of EV charging. It's going to make it much easier to find, much better to use, and much more convenient for the consumer. Most of the Chargepoint charging locations are found, in residential areas or grocery shopping parking lots. They're found in multi-home parking areas, parking garages and structures. There's also commercial uses. Chargepoint is also offering charging fleets and service vehicles, which is only going to optimize this and make it much more efficient and much more convenient for the consumer. Chargepoint also has an app that allows you to see where the nearest location of the closest charging station is, if it's available, and also it notifies you when your charge is complete, so you could leave and come back and it breaks no sweat. One of the ways that Chargepoint is going to reach these goals, according to them, is by their winning formula. And it's very simple. It's their hardware plus software plus services. So as you can see here on slide 18, this is what their charging stations look like. This is what one of their applications looks like in use. And to be honest with you, this looks very straightforward, simplified, and really user-friendly to me. So the software includes their app, which we mentioned earlier, which also has a minimum annual renewal. Now let's go into the services. So some of these services that include, parts and labor warranties. They have a recurring model as well, and they also have customer service built into this. Another great way that Chargepoint is going to lead the industry is their integration to the ecosystem. And what I mean by this is, as you can see here, identified by these pictures, they're going to have a Chargepoint app built into the vehicle you're using, kind of like a Spotify or Google Maps. They're also going to have, of course, their GPS, their charging stations built into Google Maps stations, right? They're also going to have Alexa, which will be able to tell you locations and different things associated with it. So this is very innovative and, really the future of electric vehicle charging. Here are some pictures of some charging stations all over the world. As you can see here, there's some that are in a parking lot that are already hooked up to EV cars. There's one here by 7-Eleven, which has their 7-Eleven logo already published on it, which is pretty cool to me. So this thing is, already established. It's already all over the world and already being used by consumers. So this is very promising. So in conclusion, guys, just to recap, I think with Mr. McNeil and Mr. Romano and their, further looking perspective on SPE and Chargepoint, I think it's a no-brainer. They're doing everything they possibly can with their awesome staff to make sure that this stock and company not only reaches greatness, but changes the world and makes it much more innovative and a much better world we're living in. Imagine in 10 or 20 years, there's 50% of the EV vehicles on the road, and this is one of the leading sources of the energy for those vehicles. Think a little bit past that now. 30 years, 40 years, there's 80% more vehicles on the road. This is what kind of growth we're talking about with this company. I'm not a financial advisor. It's important for you guys to all do your own due diligence and research before making a decision about this stock and if it's appropriate for your own investment. But me personally, in my own opinion, it's a double thumbs up, and I'm going to keep talking about it more and more into the future as more things unfold about it. Please let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about SPE. Let me know how many shares you own, what your future thought process is on this. I'm very curious to know what y'all think. And please don't forget to subscribe and like the video if it helped you learn more about SPE. Thanks again.